Here at Perth Motorplex, we take pride in making sure we can deliver the best drag racing surface in the country, maybe even in the world. And it starts with our preparation of the drag racing strip. We're here just before the main program kicks off at the 47th Annual Goldenstates to take you through how they go about it. And it all starts with these tractors 4 days before we even show up for race day. They use these big John Deere tractors, they get out the scraping attachment, and they'll use the scraper to lift off all the rubber that sits on top of the burnout box and down around the start line before they come out with this heavy sled. This is a weighted bar sled on the back of the tractor that they'll use after that to rub down the surface and get it ready after they've sprayed a little bit of this start line resin. The start line resin comes in this nice little bottle. They walk along and spray the resin down, and it acts as just a primer. Like you put primer on a car body before you're about to paint it, they spray this down on the exposed concrete and then they rub it with the heavy sled for about the first 300 foot of the racetrack until all of that exposed concrete is now covered with a layer of rubber. The next day they come back out and they'll spray it down and get it ready to go again. They'll continue rubbing it with sleds in the morning, then in the afternoon they'll come out with the washing machines. You see these out throughout race main events. They'll come out with the Tenant machines and wash the track down before they spray it with a 50-50 mix inside this big tank that's incredibly sticky and you don't want to touch. This is a 50-50 mixture of PJ1 racetrack glue emulsified in methanol. We spray the track down and that just creates that little bit of tacky surface on the very top of the racetrack. That's 3 days before race event. Then come the day before, we rinse and repeat and do the same process. Wash the track down with the Tenant machine, spray it down with the 50-50 mix, give it a little bit of a rub if needed before we come to race day, and even then in the morning it's another process of wash the track down, spray it with a mixture, and more laps for a couple of solid hours with 2 tractors going up and down the track all morning long to deposit rubber into the racetrack. The goal is to try and make it nice and smooth with a lot of rubber sitting on top of the surface that is also tacky due to this mixture. On race day, they up the mixture again to make sure there's an even stickier surface sitting right on top of the rubber of the racetrack, and they could even go up to 70, 30 or even 80% of the glue emulsified in 20% of the methanol inside this big tank on the back of the John Deere tractors. So when you come here on race day and you expect a nice sticky racetrack, all the work that goes in behind the scenes from the dedicated team of individuals here at Perth Motorplex is one of the main reasons why this track is one of the greatest to come racing on in Australia, if not the world.